The boring traders are getting paid every single week. Rain or shine, green market, red market, doesn't matter. I've been one of those boring traders for years now, and it's the single most important thing that changed my life financially. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. No hype, no perfect setups, just the boring thing that actually pays. What's up, everybody? If you're new here, my name's Don. I've been trading stocks full time since 2015. This channel is where I show you what actually works, not what looks good on a highlight reel. And the number one question I get from you guys over and over in the comments is some version of this. Don, how do you actually make consistent income from the market? Not I got lucky on a play, not I crushed one earnings report and never did it again. Consistent every single week, like a paycheck that shows up. Not you bought Tesla one time and it shot up and you just keep bringing that up like it's the only thing you've ever done. And I get why people ask because almost nobody answers it honestly. So today I'm going to really answer it because I think most people have the completely wrong mental model for how income trading even works. And once I show you the right one, you're not going to be able to unsee it. Now, here's what most traders do, right? They hunt for the perfect setup. They watch the news all day. They try to predict earnings, guess what the Fed's going to do, find the next momentum stock before anybody else. They're trying to be the smartest person in the room. And you know what? Sometimes they are, and when it hits, it feels incredible. It feels like you cracked the code. Okay, but here's the thing: nobody says out loud. The markets will humble every smart guy eventually. I know that because I've been that guy a lot. Okay. And I want to tell you the story about how I stopped being him because it's the whole point of this video. Okay. Now, when I started trading, I wasn't some hotshot with a finance degree and a trust fund. Okay. Now, I was working at Lifetime Fitness, and between clients, I'd sit at my desk, and instead of scrolling on my phone, I was obsessively researching one question, like how do banks and market makers actually make their money? Not retail traders getting chopped up, the house, the people who win over and over. Back then, commission was $20 a trade, so I needed something, right? Now, while I was learning, I was swing trading in an easy, forgiving bull market. The tide was lifting every boat, mine included. Now, I thought I was a genius. Now, honestly, the market was just going up, and I was along for the ride. There's quite a few trades I probably would have made more had I just not looked. Okay, but I did find one real edge. Now it was leveraged ETFs, and if you guys been following me from the beginning, you know this whole scenario. Here's what I did that was different. Now I didn't chase 100 tickers. I picked one instrument and I learned it just cold. I know how it moved. I knew its personality. I say characteristics on here a lot. I knew when to play the upside, when to play the downside. One thing, both directions, and it worked. Right, the account grew. It eventually matched what I was making as a trainer. So I did the scary thing. I quit. I went full time because I'll be honest, guys. I thought that was a cool thing to do. Don't do it. Don't double your income and then quit your job. Anyway, here's what nobody tells you about leveraged ETFs. The market, it doesn't stay forgiving forever. Those instruments got volatile. Some went from 3 times leverage down to 2 times. Some got delisted entirely, just gone. Okay. The edge I'd built my whole income on started slipping through my fingers. It was wild. Okay, and I'll be honest with you about the lowest moment because I don't do the fake guru thing on this channel. I had one account I ran as a challenge. Now I held entirely call spreads. When the pandemic sell off hit, I stopped watching it. I checked out, didn't look, and every single position in that account expired worthless. It went to zero. Now that you watch that account just blow up. And it taught me something that I've never forgotten. Being smart, being aggressive, chasing the big directional bet. That's the thing that blows up accounts. It was all I did was one thing to blow the whole thing up. So I had to adapt, and that's when I found the boring way. Honestly, during 2020, I'll be honest, I made a whole lot of money. Now this is where I will say one little caveat. Um, I had made so much, I had out earned what I'd spent, what I would spend, and I cranked my spending up magnitudes. Okay. So I had a bunch of money. I had a bunch of money extra. So I didn't just, a light bulb didn't just turn on and I thought, I'm going to do this. I had a bunch of extra money and I don't like things just sitting around, which would lead into the boring way, which is selling options for income. Okay. Now, specifically like covered calls on my investments, cash secured puts. So while the cash was sitting there, it was still making money. And before your eyes glaze over, stay with me for 2 minutes because I promise this is simpler than the internet makes it sound. I call it free internet money. I don't know how else to put it. Now, here's the mental model that changed everything for me. Write this one down. Get your little notepad. When you buy an option, you're paying for the right to be right. Okay? When you sell an option, you're getting paid to be patient. That's it. Okay? That's the whole flip. When you sell options, you stop being the gambler placing the bet and you become the house taking the bet. If you've ever heard me say this on my previous streams, I say it's going from being the person at the slot machine to the slot machine. But here's the truth about the house, right? It doesn't win every hand, but the house wins more often than it loses over and over forever. That's the entire business model of a casino, and it can be yours. Now, let me show you how it actually works in plain English, no jargon. Covered calls. You own 100 shares of something you already like, a stable stock, an index ETF, something you'd be happy to hold anyway. You sell someone the right to buy those shares from you at a higher price by a certain date. And for giving them that right, they pay you cash today, right now. It is a cash transfer from their bank into your brokerage. Okay. Two things can happen. Either the option expires worthless and you keep the cash and you still own your shares, so you just do it again next week. Or the stock climbs and they buy your shares at a price you were already happy to sell at. Plus, you get to keep the cash you already pocketed. Either way, you get paid. Now, cash secured puts are the mirror image. Instead of owning the stock first, you sell someone the right to make you buy it at a lower price, a price you were already planning to buy at anyway. They pay you premium for that. If the stock drops to your price, you buy it at a discount, you keep the cash. If it doesn't, the option expires, you just keep the cash anyway. It's called premium, right? And then you just do that again. Okay, that's the boring way. You're not predicting the future. You're not trying to outsmart anybody. You're getting paid every week to define the range you're already comfortable in. Okay, and later, if you can learn about deltas and everything, I do the 20 deltas. If you want to know the numbers game, I have an 80% chance of being right. Okay, stick around. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you know what deltas are? Do you want me to get into that? A full options breakdown for you? Now, real quick, I'm not going to sell you a fantasy because that's not what we do here. This is not risk-free, right? Nothing in this market is. And a quick reminder, while we're on it, I'm not your financial advisor. Nothing here is financial advice. Do your own research, okay? Talk to someone licensed if you want before making decisions with real money, all right? 3 real risks. You need to hear all 3. 1, if you sell a cash secured put and the stock drops below your strike, you own it and it's down. That happens. So the only question that matters is, were you going to buy that stock at that price anyway? If the answer is yes, you got a discount plus income. Great. If the answer is no, then you shouldn't have sold that put. This only works on stocks that you actually want to own. Okay. Number 2, this is the one people forget. A covered call does not protect you when the stock itself falls. If your shares drop hard, the premium only cushions a small piece of that fall. You still own the stock the whole way down. The premium is income. It's not a shield. That's why it only works on things you'd be happy holding anyway. Same rule as the puts. Now, number 3, the upside cap. When you sell a covered calls on stock that absolutely rips past your strike, you don't get all of the upside. You sold it. And for an income trader, that's the trade you're making on purpose. You give up some of that ceiling in exchange for a reliable floor. And to be honest, I know a lot of you gamblers think the stock I buy is going to go up 1,000,000%. If we just really get down to reality, it's like 1 to 4% a day. It's actually not going to make that 20% daily move. It happens, but how often does it happen? So are you really, by the time that stock makes that move, what if you just sold a covered call every week? By the time it makes that move, how much did you make? Now, get back to that word floor, right? That's the whole thing. Let me tell you why it matters more than the ceiling ever did. When I made the jump from working at a gym to trading full time, uh, weren't even born yet. One was, but young. And I'll tell you that the scariest part of going full time was never the trading itself. It was the consistency. Because I'd have banging weeks and then weeks that just weren't so hot. I was even really good, and my red weeks are very, very few. But you know what a red week also is? Making $20. Okay, if you don't cover your bills, that's a red week. So yeah, I'd have these awesome weeks, and it would seem cool, but all that's doing is covering the week or the week after. That's probably not going to be such an awesome week when things cool down. So you learn real quick that red days aren't just when you lose money. Now, when you're an employee, you know what Friday looks like. Oh, it's payday every 2 weeks. The paycheck comes. You can plan your life. You can budget around it. I can't call Dave Ramsey and say, "Here's how much I make every 2 Fridays." When you trade for a living, Friday can look like anything. It could be the best day of your month or the worst, and you don't get to choose. And when you've got three little people depending on you, that uncertainty it'll increase the anxiety. All right. So selling options for income is the thing that will fix that, can fix that, because now it did give my account a floor, so not a ceiling, a floor. Every single week before the market does anything dramatic at all, there's already income locked in from the premiums I sold the week before. It's already there. It showed up whether the market was up or down. And that floor is the reason I can sit calm while other traders are refreshing their screens at 3 in the morning, sweating every tick. Okay, I already got paid. I don't need the market to do anything today. That's the boring that wins. It's not exciting. It'll never go viral at a party, but it's the thing that gets you to sleep, right? It's the thing that lets you build a life for your kids or something other than luck. So if you want to start, here's exactly where I begin. 3 steps again. Okay. Step one, build a position in a stable index ETF or a large boring stock you genuinely believe in for the long haul. Something you could hold through a down year without panicking. Okay. That's your foundation. Okay. Now, step two, learn what covered calls are. Okay. Before anything else, it's the simplest version and it teaches you the most important concept in all of this, how time decay works in your favor when you're the seller. Now, if you've ever bought an option, then you know theta, right? You're positive. No, you are negative theta. When you buy a contract, you should be negative theta. That's money going against you. When you sell a contract, you are positive theta. That's just money just getting locked in as you go. Okay, so everything, all your pluses and your minuses, they just got inversed. And you've all heard options like 85 or 90% of options expire worthless. Now you're one of the person that's going to sell, let it expire worthless, and keep all the cash. Okay, now step three, you start with one contract, okay? One on something you already own. Feel the mechanics before you scale anything up, okay? Just because you have 1,000 shares, don't go selling 10 contracts just yet, okay? And don't walk in chasing the biggest premium you can find. That's the smart guy trap all over again. Walk in trying to understand the process. The income follows once the mechanics click. It always does. There's no such thing as a home run, by the way, when you are selling options. That's it. So if you see something that's just a banger, like, oh my gosh, this is paying so much, I promise there's something you're not seeing. There is a reason why. Okay. You're looking for a base hit every time. If it says, here comes a home run, man, you're at the high stakes table. And that's not the home run you're looking for, okay? Now, if this was helpful, do me a huge favor, right? And hit that like button. It genuinely does help the video get in front of more people who need to hear it, and it's free, okay? And here's what I want. Here's what I want to know, okay? If you want me to go deeper, exactly how I structure these trades, what strikes I'm targeting, what expiration dates I use, and how I handle a position when it goes against me, drop a comment and tell me, because that's the next video in this series. And if enough of you want it, I'm building it out in full. So that's it today. Keep it boring, keep it consistent, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.